guys, it's Nick or मेरे channel पर आपका स्वागत. No, this video is going to be in English, sorry. It's Nick and welcome back to my channel and another video. Or if you're new here, my name is Nicola. I am Irish but I live in India and this is a video of me celebrating Halloween in India. Happy Halloween to everyone. I am quite excited to do this video even though Halloween has never been my favorite thing. There's many reasons why I decided to do this today, and one of the main ones is that Halloween is actually an Irish festival. It began in Ireland, and I think that that's something that majority of the world don't know. A lot of people assume it originated in America, in the US, and that's not true. It came from little old Ireland. So I decided to get spooky this Halloween. I'm going to put on not a costume because I really hate that. I really hate dressing in costumes and that's not me. But I am going to do some face stuff, some scary face things. Painting, I don't know. I have no idea. Just gonna talk about what is Halloween, the history of Halloween, and what we usually do in Ireland to celebrate, like from when you're a child up to like adulthood, or like how do people celebrate Halloween? Because here in India Halloween is not really celebrated at all. There is some like decorations around and stuff that you can buy in shops and little things like that, but in general it's really not a thing here apart from dressing in costumes. Some people might have some parties and stuff, but definitely isn't the same as in Ireland or the US or anywhere like that. So let's get into this video and I'm excited to share everything you need to know about Halloween. Okay, I already have my makeup done, but I'm just adding some scary things to my makeup. I'm going to try to do a cobweb and a spider. So Halloween started in Ireland by the Celts over 2,000 years ago with the Celtic festival called Samhain. Samhain marks the first day of winter and the end of the harvest season. So it was associated with coldness, darkness and death. So the Celts believed that on October 31st that the veil between the living and the dead became very thin. Living in the spirit world, I should say, meaning that they felt the spirits could cross over into the living world on this day. So to protect themselves, they would light bonfires, kind of the same like Diwali, you know, this idea that light will overcome the darkness. It's the same thing. So they lit bonfires to protect themselves, and they also dressed in disguises and costumes so that the spirits wouldn't recognize them. That's why they dressed in these scary costumes, and that's why today that's what everyone does, dresses in scary things, scary costumes, is to fight off the evil spirits. So what do we do on Halloween to celebrate? So as kids it's much more of a prominent thing. We used to play games, go trick-or-treating. So the kinds of games we played were snap apple, I think it was called, or like bobbing for apples. I don't know how to call it, but you would have an apple on a string and you would have to put your hands behind your back and you would swing the apple and you would have to try and bite into it. There would always be some prize or something. I don't exactly remember, it's kind of a bit of a blur now, but and then there was another game where you would have a bowl of water. Again, you would have like pieces of apples in it, peanuts, you would put coins in there, and you would have to again put your hands behind your back and with your mouth only go into the water and try and pick up the coins. And then another one was called like brambrack, which is like, it's like a fruit loaf, like bread with fruits like raisins in it, and there would always be a ring inside the bread at some point in the loaf, and whoever got the slice with the ring in it meant that, you know, you were like fortune, you know, your good fortune to get married and stuff would be there. So yeah, a lot of these kind of like fortune telling games to do with like marriage, love, and fortune, like you would win money and stuff in the games and things like that. So those are the kind of games we played as kids, and that was in like the 2000s. I'm sure it's very different now, the kinds of games kids play. I really don't know what kids play on Halloween now, but that's what we did. This is not going great. Anyway, then we would obviously dress up in costumes. So we used to make costumes from like bin bags as well. Like you would dress up, if you were dressing up as a ghost, you would just get a white bed sheet and cut 2 holes in it. You were a ghost. There was none of this spending a lot of money on costumes and things. You just like did everything DIY. If you were like going as a witch, you would just put on like a black bin bag and maybe you'd buy the hat and whatever. And then we would go trick-or-treating. So trick-or-treating is basically going around to people's houses, usually your neighbors, and knocking on the door saying happy Halloween. Some people maybe in the past used to like sing or something, but we never did anything like that. But yeah, you would just say happy Halloween. And people on Halloween in Ireland have, especially if you are in a neighborhood with children and kids, you will have a bowl of like sweets to give them. So when the trick-or-treaters come to your door, you'll give them usually like, yeah, sweets, chocolates, sometimes like nuts and apples as well, but like no one wanted those obviously. And yeah, sometimes money or coins and stuff like that as well. It was very fun as a kid because it's like, you obviously all children love sweets, right? So it was very fun as a kid. Sorry, this looks so bad. Oh my god, it's actually working. Haha. I just used a lipstick for that. I just saw it online there. I thought that would be cool. And of course, pumpkin carving as well is another part of Halloween. That's like the one part I really feel like I do enjoy. So in Ireland, the Celts used to carve turnips, not actually pumpkins. They carved faces into turnips and then put lights like candles inside, and again it was another way of like warding off the evil spirits. But when the potato famine happened in Ireland, many Irish people obviously emigrated to the US, so that's why Halloween kind of then became popularized in the US. Thus the Irish then started using pumpkins to carve instead of turnips because they were larger and easier to carve than turnips. And that's how the name like jack-o'-lantern carving, jack-o'-lantern, this term jack-o'-lantern, started from. It's like an American term. So yeah, that is a bit of background into Halloween. Now Halloween is obviously such a worldwide thing that people all over the world celebrate, but it started in Ireland, in my little old country. So that's how children celebrate. In terms of adults or like older people, obviously once you are no longer a child, no one is going to go trick-or-treating anymore and stuff like that. But obviously dressing up in costumes, as you see even here in India, dressing up in like scary costumes or just, you know, costume dressing in general, and that's kind of how older people celebrate Halloween. Like usually there'll be like fancy dress events or clubs, you know, people go to the club, they go drinking. Obviously in Ireland there is no event or festival without drinking, so go to the pub, dress up, go to a club, or go to some sort of like themed Halloween event, maybe if you're like early, I don't know, teenager, early 20s, whatever. To be completely honest, I know it's ironic because I'm making this video, but Halloween is my least favorite festival there is. I don't really know why. I'm not into horror, I'm not into scary things, and I'm really not into costumes or dressing up in that way, like costumes and fancy dress and stuff like that. I really don't like that, which is ironic because I'm literally basically doing that now, but I'm not putting on a costume, just the makeup. Yeah, I don't really know why I don't like it, but I think that's the main reason why I don't like it, is I don't like the costume aspect, and I'm not into horror or anything. Like maybe I shouldn't be doing this. It feels like I've ruined it. So the reason why I wanted to make this video and like celebrate Halloween in some way, there's a couple of reasons. I think the first one is obviously now I'm not in Ireland anymore, and there's something about that when you move away you feel a bit more inclined to be, I don't know what the word is, like participate in such things, because obviously I participate in all of the Indian festivals. I mean, like so much of what I'm doing day to day is very like Indian, and I'm always participating in whatever I feel like, which is a lot of things here in India, because obviously there is so many festivals in India and it is such a rich culture. But I felt like I should really do the same for my own culture and country as well. I feel like it's good as well to like talk about things that come from my country, and also like a lot of people often do comment on my videos and stuff, or whenever I do Q&As, like asking for me to share more about like Ireland's culture or different things about Ireland. Like a few people have asked about, talk about Ireland's like independence story. As much as I love being here in India and participating in everything that's Indian, it's like important to also embrace my roots, and most of the people who watch my videos are from India, so I feel like it's good information to know, you know. Culture sharing works both ways at the end of the day. Okay, I don't think I should have done that under the eyes, but I think a lot of people are surprised when I say I don't like Halloween, because I have quite an alternative look and I've always dressed very alternatively in general throughout like 99% of my life. So I think that people are quite surprised when I say I hate Halloween. So I'm basically going back to my inner child today, celebrating Halloween in this way, but why not? And it's also nice to show Utsav, like my fiance as well, about this tradition. Same with Christmas and stuff. Once I get, well, this Christmas will actually not be in India either, or Ireland, but that's part of a like multicultural relationship anyway, is sharing both of your like traditions. And even though it's not something I generally participate in anymore, it is something that when we have children, hopefully that they will be participating in. I always remember that, you know, as reasons to preserve like different parts of things that are from where you're from. But yeah, I think it's important as well to bring both of your cultures together and traditions. And like I said, even if I'm not a super Halloween person, maybe my children will be. So this is the time of starting new traditions. Okay, next I am going to make some DIY ghost decorations. So this is another thing we used to do. I forgot to mention that, but yeah, this is another thing we used to do growing up as kids. Make DIY decorations to like hang around your home, your living room, whatever. I am not really great at this kind of artsy arts and crafts stuff, so I'm just doing a very simple one. But yeah, it's just something to hang up. Just gonna hang it here beside the TV. We would either do it with our friends or in school. Sometimes they would have you do it, so you would like get to come home with these decorations to hang around the place. It's called a ghost paper tape. It is so simple. All you need is plain paper, a scissors, a black marker, or even pen. First one is done. I like to do kind of happy faces because I don't like the horror. As you can see, I like to do lots of emotions ghosts, not just scary. Now I'm going to do the part that for me is the most fun, which is the pumpkin carving. India does not have proper pumpkins, so we only have these ones. I have two. They are called disco pumpkins here in India, and the orange ones are so hard to find. They're all green here in India. The standard one is a green one. We went all over Pune last night to try and find orange pumpkins. And yeah, this one is fully orange, which is great, but this one is a little half green, half orange. But they were the only ones left, so it's fine. And they're also very small. There's no large size pumpkins. I've never seen those exist ever here. So on the upside, it won't take as long to carve because they're quite small. What face will I do? Okay, I'm gonna do one. Sorry, this is really awkward to film. I'm very sorry in advance. These pumpkins are also going to be very different in texture wise to the ones we have back home, so I'm not sure these will last as long given like the heat in India and stuff. Finally, that took about 30 minutes. These pumpkins are something else. Okay, one pumpkin is done. This took so long, guys. These pumpkins are so hard. They're really difficult to carve. But this is my happy pumpkin. I still feel like I need to get more out from inside, but I can't. Here he is. This is Jeremy. Once the sun sets and once the sun goes down and it's dark and I can put little lights in them, make some popcorn, have some sweets and watch a scary movie, horror movie, the ultimate Halloween vibe. Good evening, guys. I'm just making a pumpkin soup with the leftover pumpkin stuff that I did. I've never tried to make pumpkin soup, but let's see how it is. But again, a lot of people do this for Halloween because obviously you're just taking out a load of pumpkin instead of wasting it. Most people will use it in something. like a soup or a pumpkin pie or something like that. Not sure how it will turn out, but let's see. I put like milk in it and look, it's looking very milky, but it will take a while for this to all boil down anyway. So, and then for our dinner today, I made dal palak and chawal.